Once, upon a decade ago, a magical day unfolded in mythical proportions. This is a story of how nature is always listening and communicating with us. It's about a rare animal, courage, and mental health. A story of how wishes come true when you love your path. This all unfolded around a perch 44 metres up a ficus tree, at the end of a swing bridge system built above the Amazon rainforest canopy in Ecuador at the Tipitini Biodiversity Research Station. After a meta-love meditation, I wrote in my diary, "I wonder if I'll get to see the Sakis today." And as if they heard me, 30 minutes later, there they were. In another ficus tree, 25 metres away, I saw movement and zoomed in with my camera. I could hardly believe my eyes. 2 equatorial Saki monkeys. Mrs. Saki, with her lighter coat and large white handlebar moustache, and Mr. Saki, darker, just as fluffy, but with less moustache. Equatorial Saki monkeys, Pithecea equatorialis, live in small groups and we know virtually nothing about them. To the Quechua, they are known as Parahuaco, and to the Guarani, Coguinco. Their Spanish name is mono volador, which means flying monkey, after the way they effortlessly flow from branch to branch, almost silently, ghosting through the trees. Encountering them like this was a rare gift. Mr. Saki seemed somewhat peeved. Below me, the woolly monkeys were eating ripe fruit, hanging from their prehensile tails, eating the best bits and dropping the rest. I sensed this was the cause of his annoyance and held up my lunch as if to say, I bought my own. Being able to volunteer for a month at the Tipitini Biodiversity Research Station was a dream come true. Founded in 1994 in agreement with the surrounding communities who call the Amazon home, this place is a no-hunting sanctuary and exists as a vital beacon of conservation. The station serves to consistently educate the scientific community on the global significance of protecting this hyper-diverse ecosystem. Ecologists admit they still know very little about the interconnected life forces that make this place thrive. Yet most agree that there are more species here in less space than anywhere else on Earth. I had a few tasks to do that contributed to the running of the station, but most of the time I would be reverently walking along the trails, either alone or with one of the amazing guides, people who had grown up in the rainforest. Being with them was like going to the Amazon University. There are 10 species of monkey that call Tipitini home, and in 1.5 weeks I had met 9 of them. It was radical how the ease of moving gently in love and wonder through the rainforest led to encounter after encounter with animals and insects. But I had some inner work to do. Sometimes I'd find myself walking along somewhat disassociated from the present, barraged by visual memories and sound bites from the awful experiences I had had with my direct family prior to arriving in Ecuador. A frown on my face as I tried to work out what I could have done differently. My being contracted, fragile tears rising at the futility of it all. This human story, laden with minefields that often span centuries. I'd stop walking and shake the feeling off. I had to change this disabling inner narrative. Do something to find some peace with it, because I care for all of life, and every second of being in the Amazon was a moment to be treasured. So on this day, when I climbed up onto the perch, I made myself comfy, appreciated the view of trees to the horizon in every direction, marveled at the wispy clouds of respiration floating up from the rainforest, and gently closed my eyes. I started theta breath to clear my mind and help access the omnipresent realms of soul and spirit. Breathe in for 4 seconds, hold for 8, breathe out for 16, and hold for 4. Start again. I felt my inner being settle as I finished the 3rd round, and then one by one, I invited my family members into my energy. I sat in love with them, thanking them for their existence in my life, finding peace for what is, because it is, and feeling love emanate from me to them and all of life. This meta-love meditation is a way of moving into clarity of thought life, a thought life that has been trained to be obedient to an overarching system that favors survival over belonging. An enforced education system that dampens creativity with academic competition serves to clutter our minds with traumatized garbage. We can see the effects of this all over our earth. When survival thinking is engaged over the emotional intelligence of unity consciousness, domination is valued over collaboration. When it is not safe to belong to the family unit, the inner child is traumatized. Divide and conquer mentality is not civilized and cannot listen with warmth to the uniqueness of every individual's communication. When we seek with wonder for connection, our courage to care embraces harmonious solutions to stressful situations. Children wouldn't be starving in Africa or anywhere because corporate structures driven by cruel greed just wouldn't exist. Engaging love for what is softens the synapsual scramble for the right to exist and allows healing and surrender into the miracle of life. Acceptance is key. From this warmth, we can creatively collaborate with the dynamics of the mystery that actively seek the freedom of simple peace. Reveling in joyful contribution to a thriving existence is our soul's purpose. An indigenous cosmovision of the Amazon is Pachamama. She embodies the knowledge that time, space, and the multiverse are one. Imagine the fun we can have if we clean up our garbage and find the courage to become more of who we truly are. First, Mr. Saki left, climbing down in a raya palm. Our time together felt extraordinarily marvelous. Staring down the barrel of my camera into Mr. Saki's eyes, whilst ignoring the sweat bees licking my cheeks and climbing up my nose, I felt honoured. What a privilege to spend this time with such magnificent beings, with amazing hair. Then Mrs. Saki started to leave. We hadn't shared as much open countenance, so it was exciting when she chose to leave through the canopy a different way, doing some huge leaps before disappearing. Then Mr. Saki reappeared below. We held eyes. And off he went. I was in such delight. It was no surprise to me when a butterfly that looked like a leaf landed on my arm and posed long enough for me to film her. Intending to go back to camp, I climbed down to the swing bridges. But when I got to the tower stairs, my intuition prompted me to keep going along the bridges. And intuition is boss, so off I went and met this woolly monkey family, their smoochy faces less than 10 meters from mine. I was in a bliss ball, telling them I love them, when I noticed something strange and zoomed in. It was so funny when I realized it was a monkey having a poo. Oh, I was going to have so much fun at dinner tonight. The primatologist loved to talk scat and other monkey excretions over dinner. I was going to show up proudly with this footage. It wouldn't top the Saki footage, but with those 3 sections held together with fruit fibre and the huge post-poo leap, it was going to get a laugh. I said my goodbyes to the woolies, bounced along the swing bridges and climbed down the tower. I don't know why, but as I shrugged off the climbing harness, I was hit by the thought that my species are threatening the very existence of all these beings. I slumped to the ground, suddenly sobbing from the depths of my soul. Then I heard a sound, something big and not particularly stealthy. I swallowed a sob, and eyes wide I raised my camera in the direction of the noise. A white-collared peccary crossed the path 10 meters from me, shortly followed by a little fluff ball on long legs, whizzing past with the sun shining through their hair. It was wonderful to experience my inner chemistry change as I got excited that I must smell like the forest. I'd blended. This whole family of peccaries, with poor eyesight and extremely good smell sense, were right there. That's when the Amazon spoke, like an omnipresent voice heard deep in my being. Who are you to worry about the future when right now you can always give to the joy? I knew right then the power of presence and our choice to humbly share in the beauty of existence. So that's my story for today, because hope can be shared through stories and connection can be built through listening to others. Paddle on and remember, nature always has the last word.